everybody. Welcome back to another Girlfriend's Chit Chat, y'all. I am so excited. Y'all, tonight's show is going to be amazing. I cannot wait for you to take advantage of every nugget that is going to be dropped tonight. So, with no further ado, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Amira Bay, and I am the host of Girlfriend's Chit Chat, where on this platform, we talk about business, life, and everything in between. So, with no further ado, let me introduce you to my co-host this evening. You know it's my girl, Miss Leslie Thomas of She Promotes. Come on, girl. What's going on, girl?
What's going on, sister?
Girl, we doing our thing as usual on our Friday night. Girls gotta come together.
Yes, let's go. I'm ready. We have a
You ready?
Tonight.
I know we are ready tonight for this phenomenal woman. But with no further ado, y'all, we want to actually we want you to get to know her a little bit. So when we come back in just a minute, you're going to meet this phenomenal woman. So we'll see you back in just a few.
Yes.
Hey y'all, my name is Jamae Jackson. I am a style and beauty journalist, editor, media personality, and the founder of theblondemisfit.com, a fashion and beauty site for marginalized communities. So I'm a born and raised Washingtonian girl. I'm from Chocolate City. I live in New York now. I've lived here for about 4 years. When I moved to New York, I really didn't know anyone. I went to school with people, obviously, who I linked up with when I got out here. But for the most part, I really had to kind of figure out New York on my own. I feel like New York created this sense of scrappiness in me that nobody can ever take away. Because one minute I'll have on something super sexy and jet black lacy like this, or I'll throw on some J's and just be like super like swagged out in like a sweatsuit. I like to be comfortable. That is one thing. I think that also really influenced my style because I like comfortability. I like a sense of fly. But New York is one of those places that you can walk down the street and you don't know if it's a designer or not, but people really show you that it's all about swag. It's just about swag. Pull off anything. You could be wearing head to toe designer, but if you look whack, then you look whack. But you also could be just wearing something from, I don't know, even just the dollar store or Target or Amazon, and you can make it look so super swaggy. And I think New York really showed me that it was more important for me to invest in personal style than necessarily big fashion pieces. I was really into fashion journalism, and I knew that I wanted to be a fashion journalist. I didn't realize that until the end of my college career. So I started a blog, and it was something weird. I don't know what it was, but it was the beginning part of the Blonde Misfit, where I just talked about fashion and beauty through the lens of a misfit like myself, a girl who never really felt like fashion really kind of belonged to her, but knew that she was part of the reason why fashion and the culture is what it is. There are so many people who told me that the Blonde Misfit was never going to be anything, that I was creating something in an oversaturated market, that I was doing something that wasn't new or that people wouldn't respond to. And even though I stayed the test and I really stayed faithful to the vision that I knew God had placed into my heart, obviously it creates a lot of doubt and fear that you're going to mess up and that you're going to let people down and people who have invested in you emotionally and spiritually. When I learned to let go of what everybody else wanted me to do and just simply what I want to do and what I believe is the right thing for me and my brand, I found so much freedom in that. To the point now where I can literally make any decision that I want and I feel strong in that decision. With that being said, I don't even know what the future of the Blonde Misfit is, because if you had told me 5 years ago when I first started all of this that I would have a podcast and I would have a YouTube channel and that I would have been featured in all of these amazing places and that the Blonde Misfit would be in the top 100 fashion and top 100 beauty sites in the world, I would have looked at you like you was crazy. But all of this has just shown me that you can't put barriers on your vision. You can't put barriers on your dreams. At the end of the day, the Blonde Misfit serves to show people that no matter how weird you think you are, it's the things that make you different that also make you unique. And so for me, I think that I would love my legacy to just be one that shows people that no matter what you ever wanted in life, you fought hard enough for it and you're good to people, that God will step in and he'll do the rest. People will always try to tell you that like you're not good enough, but it's just like when you finally find that vision and when you finally just say, you know what, I know that I can do this, like it makes all the other BS worth it. It makes all the people who knock you down, all the people who say no, all the doors that get closed on you, like that's why now I don't want people to praise me. I don't want people to look at my life and be like, I wish I was Jamae, or I wish I was the blonde misfit. Something like, no. This is blood and tears from years and years of putting in the work and being good to people and just being faithful. And anyone can do that. Anyone can do that. I want you to just strive to be the best you, whatever that looks like, you know. Right. And, you know, obviously at some point I'll figure out what's next. But in the meantime, like, I'm just enjoying the ride. I'm going to be in my bag while I do it. And I'm going to take all my misfits with me. So I'm at The Blonde Misfit on Twitter and Instagram. Obviously, you got to check out the site, theblondemisfit.com. We actually just launched a podcast, and it's the Blonde Misfit Podcast. We're out here on Spotify. Should be also up on Apple iTunes and iHeart. So make sure you check us out. But make sure at the end of the day, you keep it misfit and you reign on.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I am, you know what? When I watch that, I keep watching, like, you know, this is good.
Man. You know what? She could have gone on a few minutes more.
Look, I'm all into it now.
But we got the deal.
Look, Jamae, come on in here, girl. Let's chat.
Come in. Let's
chat. Hey, girl, that thing is so, you know, when I watched that, I was like, you everything. That told so much about who you are, where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do. How did you feel when you finally got to the place you were like, I'm ready to move into a new place in my life? You know, what did Jamae look like? Because a lot of times we know the business, we know the brand, we know the look. Mm-hmm. But who are you so people can know and connect with you?
Man, that is such a good question. First of all, I got to shout you ladies out. Thank you so much for having me on my podcast. On this podcast, I've been on many podcasts. Look, I'm saying my podcast because I feel at home already. Okay.
Welcome.
It is just wonderful to be around fellow boss-minded women of color, Black women who just want to share their platform. So I am just so humbled and honored to be here. But yeah, my name is Jamae, guys. I'm the Blonde Misfit. And I have to say, when you ask that question about where was I in that space, like you said, people see the business, they see the accolades, they see the money, they see the glamour, but it's mental first, right?
Yes.
One of the things I found as a business owner is I had taught myself how to go into drive, how to go into hustle, and how to hit the things that made me look like I was winning, but I wasn't winning within.
Right.
And as soon as I learned that the external validation of man, the accolades and all that stuff, that none of that actually had to deal with the things that I had to heal within my inner self, then I was able to start focusing on that. And so when that shift happened, it was uncomfortable.
Wow.
It was like,
I can't believe it.
It's like going to the gym when you know you ain't been to the gym in a long time and you getting that workout in and it hurts, right? And it hurts and it hurts and it hurts. But one day you go to the gym and it hurts a little less. Yes. And the next day it hurts a little less. And that was the internal work I did. And once I started to do that internal work, I kid you not, the rest of my life changed. My business started to accelerate and grow even faster. It was really funny watching that video because I did that video, I would say maybe about a year and a half ago. And I'm just thinking about from that video's time, where I'm at now, and even the things that Jamae in that video didn't even know would manifest as where I'm sitting from here today. So it all starts with the mind. In business, there's so much internal work that comes with it.
Wow. I think the couple of things you said, and believe it or not, everything you said just totally exploded. You know, if I could go back and rewind to my younger self, that's it. You know, sometimes we're so afraid to be uniquely who we are. I love that about you. It's the authenticity about you that I love so much. And I really wish a lot of young women would do. I always tell people, and it took me a long time to get there, God can use our authentic self, not who we're trying to be, because we keep failing and trying to be someone else. If we were
Yes.
to be look what happened when you authentically became who you are, the locks, the hair color, what you call is a misfit, which I think is glamour on two legs. You know what I mean? I mean, look what was birthed and manifested in there. Like you said, that's awesome because social media is so tough.
Yes.
And we get caught up trying to look like the models, the Instagram models, and a lot of young women start wanting to be thin like this one. And I'm loving the fact that now plus size women are really finding themselves, that we're not confining ourselves to just extensions. We can wear our natural hair and feel beautiful.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just loving the liberation, to be honest with you. I don't even think that was a question, but I'm loving your liberation.
It's a movement. It's a
It
movement.
is.
And one of the things, I tell people a lot is that God will take your misery and make it your ministry. But you have right. Give that a second.
Yeah.
See, we gotta let that sink in.
Because
your misery. Woo, that's good. Your ministry.
Yep.
That's good.
And make it your ministry, but it requires a couple things. First of all, it requires sacrifice.
Yes.
Are you willing to give God the things that hurt you and the things that hurt so bad, knowing that when you give it to him, he can bless it for not just you, but for other people.
Exactly.
So when I talk to young women today, they think I've always been this confident, liberated, woman who just feels so good about herself. Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, actually, the whole point of the Blonde Misfit was because I felt like an outsider. I felt like an outsider my whole entire life because of things that were out of my circumstances and the things that happened to me. And I always thought those things were working against me. And then there was a day that I realized, but that's how God has distinguished you from the other person next to you.
Right.
So
that's right.
I think about when I go into a job interview or when I work with brands and they say, well, what differentiates you? I'm like, baby, I got a list. Right? That's the easiest question, because when you start looking at the things that you see as a weakness and the things that you think have set you apart for bad, and you actually see that is what God has stepped out for you to be good.
Right.
Yes.
Your mind changes, and how you see yourself in the world changes as well.
Exactly. It does become a brighter place for sure.
Oh, yes.
See, that's the great thing about it, is that you understanding that God is at the forefront of your business.
Oh,
See, a lot of times we don't see that, and I had a lady say it one time, she said she sees God as her CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He makes the decision.
See? You see what I'm saying? He first and foremost, it's like, and it's so crazy because, see, when I look at you, I see everything you're striving to do. You're striving to be better than you were yesterday, last week. And you can see yourself evolving. Right. And that's what I take from it. When I heard that video, I was like, man, you pressed upon me to want to do better. You pressed upon me, because that's how we're supposed to see each other, is that I want to have a takeaway from what she's saying. Like you said, I don't want you to be like me. I want you to find your own lane, find your own purpose, find your own drive. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the most amazing part. But the biggest thing is, where do you see the Blonde Misfit going? You see the growth, you see yourself moving. Where do you see yourself going from this place?
Right. Ooh, that's such a good question. One of the things that I've learned about myself, especially I would say since the pandemic, when God has just been blessing and blessing the fruits of my labor. So I want to specify one thing first, because this is something that I've been running into a lot. And I'm sure you ladies also run into this a lot. And everyone looks at you and they think you're an overnight success. Let me tell you something. I didn't make a single cent in my business the first 5 years.
Whoa!
You better tell it.
Not a single cent. The money I was making from my day job was the money that I was using to fund my business. So now,
that's right.
And what I actually ended up doing is, as a journalist, I started freelancing more. So these bylines people see me have and stuff, a lot of it was because I'm trying to take that couple $100 and I'm trying to put it to make sure that my domain name stays up. Or I spent the money on my domain name and now Con Edison about to come cut off my electricity. Like, come on now, you make so many, I guess, rookie mistakes in the beginning, especially if you don't have a financial background. But I always like to be very clear with people, because even though it looked like I was winning, social media, like Leslie said to the beginning, it's all a facade.
Yeah.
And
It
it wasn't until year 5.5 that the floodgates opened. And God said, because you remain faithful, my child, I'm about to start blessing you. And the
Amen.
blessings have just been in fruition to the point where I'm like, God, me.
Yes,
But
you.
right. And then
Yes, you.
like, right. Because I'm like, if I win, we all gonna win because I'm gonna put other people
Yes.
on anyway.
Exactly.
But for me, I really think that in this now season where that fruit is manifesting, it now has caused me to say, okay, but like you have to now start taking your hands off of every pot and you got to start hiring other cooks to come into the kitchen with you.
Yeah.
You know, as a solopreneur, you're so used to doing this and that. And then especially when it's your business, you're afraid sometimes to release the reins because you're like, she ain't going to do it the way I want it done.
Right.
And I'm stepping into this new season where I'm saying, if I want to go ahead, I got to let go of some things that are not serving me anymore. And I got to let go of some stuff that is kind of holding me back. Not back in a way that it's negative, but back in a way that like I could allocate those things to somebody else. And so for the Blonde Misfit, it's really about building a bigger team. We started working with some really cool brand partners outside of the fashion, beauty, lifestyle space to teach financial literacy to Black and brown creators.
Right.
To work with people and figure out how do creators start showing up in spaces so that they can monetize their platforms.
Yeah.
But then also, as someone who loves to be on camera and just even have these types of dialogues, definitely looking at doing more on camera work and speaking engagements, and honestly just really letting God be the CEO. Like you said, whatever he has fit for me, I'm not running away from it. Can't run away from your destiny. You can't run away from your future. If it feels uncomfortable, lean into it and embrace it and go and enjoy the ride.
But you know what? What's interesting and what you said there, and I think it's true. I think we as business owners in a couple of things, like you said, in the first 5 years, we didn't make money. I know I didn't. I was like, look, I'm just trying to help somebody. Nobody was interested. And I think it's more a situation where people have to feel like they can trust you. Let me watch you. Let me gauge you. Let me see if you really have that foundation, right? But I think we as business owners, we have, especially Black and brown, we have to get away from I'm not going to talk to you unless you pay me kind of thing. I think there has to be some sort of mentorship that we give to someone because not everybody has a bucket of money that I could pay $1,000 or 2 or 20 or $40,000 for a coach. You know, where and at what point do we say, God, I see my business as a ministry and there's a portion of me I have to reach back. And that doesn't come with the feet. I feel like when I do that, I think it's resume worthy. Like you said, I'm doing, these, interviews, these sorts of things. And to me, when I look back, God is going to multiply that.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Everything can't be, I'm not talking to you unless I got the invoice. I get that because we all in the business make money, but I think you can set boundaries, but also find a way to be able to give back because there's some young kid who don't have a bucket of money that can pay you $1,000 or 2 or 20. You know what I'm saying? Because when you build her, you're building you. It's on the resume. It's on your portfolio. Bam.
Right.
And Leslie, I'm gonna tell you a secret. I might get in trouble. Some of y'all's followers may get on me about this, but I'm gonna say something that I believe in my heart. If you believe that every transactional needs a dollar sign to it, you are living in a poverty mindset.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, look, we just had this conversation. Because last week we were talking about this is that for every deposit does not require a withdrawal.
It does not.
That's it. I mean, I wish she hit the see. I tell you, that's confirmation.
Oh, yes,
that's confirmation.
It is.
It is because when you start thinking that everything you do has to have a dollar sign to it, you will actually sabotage and miss out on your own blessing.
Yes,
that's right.
And creating a transaction for somebody else. And this is what I think we have to realize. Some of the biggest bags we secure have no monetary value to them when the first times. I promise you, especially as creators, I have done a lot of free work and still do a lot of free work with brands who in 2-3 years, when they pop off, the first person they remember is the person who held it down. Stop thinking that everything has to have a monetary value. because when you are good to people, they will be good to you too. And if they're not, that's okay. You've done what God has asked you to do. Somebody else will be even greater to you.
And he's going to repay it. He multiplies it in his hands. In my hands, it ain't going to go but to this one and to that one, but in his hands. If you can reference for just a moment, we had Taria Avant last week, and she gives out so much free. So I'm like, girl, where are you charging that? Because she's planting seeds.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Seeds at some point, even if she's not going to be the physical person, or you're not going to be the physical person that goes in there to water it, I'm going to remember. I remember Jamae said blank, blank, blank. I remember she just gave me a moment to say hi on her platform. They will remember the moment. You know what I mean? And like you said, the moment, the ministry, because that's what it is. Because ultimately, God, yes, he can bless us, but God want to know what you're going to do with it.
Hello. I know that's right.
You know
don't have to give you something you're not ready for. He don't give you nothing you ain't ready for. That's just it in a nutshell. You think you're ready? If you ain't meditate on that thing and say, is this where I need to be? Is this where I need to be moving? You know, is this what I should be doing? And I think that's the mindset. Like y'all say, we can't worry about the money all the time. You got to make sure you're planting your seeds. As long as we doing that, y'all, we got it. That's it. Because business is a ministry. We were saying that last week. Business is just that. I don't care how you sugarcoat it, how you try to make it sound. At the end of the day, we're serving somebody.
Exactly.
You're serving. You're serving your clients. You're serving everyone that you're connected to. You're being of service. You know, you just being here on our platform and planting a seed in us and giving us something that we have as a takeaway. That's what we're talking about. And I think that's the most amazing thing in regards to you. But my thing is, now that you see yourself in this place, how do you feel having the word influencer linked to you? Because a lot of us don't get to that level.
Yeah, because I'm seeing a lot of the clothes behind you, and I'm like, girl, if I can have whatever that is in yellow, you know, I'm behind you. I'm like, I see
you. That's fine. I'll be in meetings and everybody's like, so what's going on up in there? I'm like, okay.
That's when you can see influencing and we all think I'm like, girl, that yellow popping. I'm like, I could use that earrings up there.
Man, you know, I always struggle with this word just because influencing has gotten a really bad rap, right?
Yes.
Like, a lot of people have taken it and they've taken advantage of it. People sell you things that they wouldn't even use and talk about brands that they don't even really care about. They just doing it for a check. Right. But in many ways, again, similar to how I've had a mindset shift about what the word misfit is, I think to myself, yes, but if I can influence someone to step a little deeper into purpose, then I'm an influencer. So I would say you all are influencers too. If you can,
I like it.
See, if you can. Because an influencer really by definition is someone who does something that then causes a reaction of you to want to take out action from whatever they do. That doesn't always mean money. So if you can do something, even if simply you just living your life, influences someone to do it. One of the catchphrases I've been using a lot recently is, I'm just showing everybody that the life of your dreams is a life worth fighting for.
Yeah.
And if that is what that is, then yeah, I'll accept being an influencer.
You know what?
That was good.
Yes, but let me tell you why I like that. Because you said something as your promo was kind of rolling through. It really brought me back to my teenage years, and bear with me. I remember going out to this particular event, right? And I was always that kid that I didn't have a whole lot back then, but I always liked to dress nice. I always liked to look nice. I didn't think I was the prettiest in the room. I didn't think I was the most flamboyant in the room. But what I always had the gift of accessorizing. I'll accessorize my butt off, right? And I remember the girls back then, I say friends, but the girls back then, they would always tell me, they'd say, you know what? Let me tell you how I want you to dress when you come hang out with us. Wear your tennis shoes and wear your pants. We went to this event. I showed up. I was dressed casual. The other two had gone out, had went shopping, got new outfits, new shoes, had gotten their hair done, but they told me to just wear sneakers and something old. From that day forth, it crushed my spirit.
Wow.
You can understand, that was 12, 13, 14, but I never did it again. And from that moment forth, my personal feeling about when I walk into a room, I'm gonna walk in as confidently as I can, and I'm coming dressed to the absolute nine. But
Yeah.
it's because I never ever seek validation from that moment on. I thought it crushed me, but it really built me because
That's
I
right.
now tell my daughter, I don't call and say, "Girl, what you wearing? What you wearing?" I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna dress how I want to dress. Now, if everybody else show up and we happen to all be on the same day,
Hey,
fantastic. But when you say that, I felt you in that because for me, that really took me down for a couple years because I'm like, well, what was it about me? They said, well, you always dress up everywhere you go. So they wanted to make sure that I wasn't dressed nice, that they would look the part.
Yeah.
How often do you encounter people who feel like maybe I just need to go behind the scenes or I need to, how does that come about? I know you encounter people who feel like they don't need to stand out but stay in the shadows.
Oh yeah. I mean, I do it myself all the time. Sometimes,
Mhm.
I there are a lot of times where I'll do a speaking event and then right after the event I scramble off stage and I'm trying to go into the back because I'm like, now I don't want to talk to people because I'm like, okay, it's too much.
Right.
But the thing is, your story, Leslie, resonates with me so much because when people can't actually stop you, what they do is they plant the seed in your mind so you stop yourself.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have had so many people try to sabotage me or the brand or whatever by planting those seeds of doubt and those seeds of disbelief.
Yeah.
And so, to that, a couple of things. One, you got to come against it with the word. I
Yes.
remind myself every day that God, that God made me, and He knew who I was way before He even put me in my mama's womb. I know that I
Exactly.
am abundantly, prosperous, and I come from a royal priesthood.
Yes.
You have to talk back to the negative thoughts that
Yes.
other people plant on you. And when
Mhm.
I meet other women, especially, I tell them, I said,
Hey,
think of the
Shonda.
time when you shrunk because
Yeah.
of somebody else and
Yeah.
think about how gross you felt. Like just the gross feeling you felt on this internet. I said, and anytime you ever start to encounter another experience that asks you to do that, remind yourself how you felt. Play that
Yes.
feeling back. Play it back. Because whenever I start going into rooms and I start to want to shrink, or someone will say, because I've even said people, they're like, why you always got colors in the background? Why can't you just wear black? And I'm like,
ooh,
maybe I should just wear black. Or maybe,
see,
I'm speaking at a corporate event. Maybe I should change out my red lipstick or my red nails. And I go back to those moments when I shrank myself and how I felt. And I'm like,
Right.
I'm going back there again.
that's
Yeah.
right.
I don't like it. And it's funny because, as you said, when you then show up as your authentic self, people like it. People like you much more anyway.
Hey,
Exactly.
Everybody wants red nails. Then everybody wants red lipstick. So,
look, but
I,
that's you. That's what makes you who you are. That's what makes you stand out. Look, sometimes it's the red lips. It can be anything. But imagine people remember you by just the way you look. You
Yeah.
remember that girl? Your name within itself resonates. The
Yeah.
blonde misfit. How could you even forget that? Like and
I
then
love
your
it.
tribe is the misfits. I mean, it's just like you actually branded yourself where people actually you're like, I remember her.
yeah,
Right.
It's something about her that sets her apart. Even when I look at your photos, like you say, I can show up dressed down looking sexy, but then I can throw on my Jordans, a nice jacket, some
hmm
sweats, and rock it and be like, dang, that look good.
Yeah.
Because we love that look. Hey, Sana,
Hey,
we love
Shonda.
that look you have. And so I think, like you said, show up who you are. Like Shauna always tells us, don't allow your representative to show up.
no,
No.
no,
Allow the person that you are show up. And I think when that person shows up, that's when people come at you even harder. Like, I want her. I
yeah,
want her. Like, she is just amazing.
I
yeah,
want somebody to make me take my game up. I'm always looking like, okay, she got that on. Let me see how I could better twist
Oh,
my
I'm about to look like me.
but it makes I like there's one sister, I love her to death. And I mean, she's always on point. I'm looking at the shoes. I'm like, you know what? I would have never thought to put that together. I
hmm
See?
like women who make me take my game up because I love clothes, I love fashion, and I love all those things. I love my daughter's sense of style. I don't like changing her. She definitely likes athletic, but she likes it athletic and sexy. I love
yeah,
that about her.
See?
Just the confidence
Yes.
that she has when she walks into a room. Like, honey, I know I just walked in. It's not being bougie. I call it,
no,
it's confidence. When you hit that realization that God made this,
hmm
Yes.
freckles, dark skin, light skin, blonde hair. this attitude, this persona. He created it. So there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Not at all. I love it. And you should always look to other people and be inspired by it. You can never see it as competition or I know sometimes people see a confident woman and then they try to do things that they think will like represent that, right? And I'm like, but that's not her confidence is maybe not your confidence.
Right.
Your confidence is just as equal. What you got to do is you have to spend time with yourself. See, a lot of people don't want to just be alone with themselves.
Come on, girl, you better
take yourself to dinner. Right. You better take yourself to the movie theater. Look, you go to dinner, they say, are you waiting on somebody? No. What I gotta wait on somebody for?
Right here, I'm good.
I'm good. Give me my glass of wine. Yes, I want this. Yes, I can dine in peace. I can dine and better. Hey, son Sarah, I can dine and be comfortable being with myself. Why can't we take ourselves out?
Exactly.
A lot of people say they can't do it. They say, I can't take myself, girl. I can't go out by myself like that. Somebody thinks something wrong. No. You can be confident enough to go out and splurge on yourself. I ain't got to wait, like Leslie said earlier, I don't have to wait on somebody to do something special for me. I can do it for myself.
No. And you actually need to spend time with yourself because, first of all, that will be the time that you get to see everything about yourself that you really don't like. Look, there are days I wake up and I can't stand myself. And that's okay. Because,
yes, it is.
Because what that does is that teaches me, okay, there are some things that you're not healed from yet. There are some things that you need to work on yet. Oh, Jamae, you trying to get to this next level in life. Can you take that with you?
Yeah.
That bag is a little heavy. You're going to drop it off here. You're going to try to take it with you there. And those are the questions that not to necessarily say that you cannot ask if you are, necessarily in a relationship or that you're with other people. But you have to just have time to yourself because that is when the work happens.
Right.
Yes.
I have found that there are so many times where I'm just quiet and I'm still, and that's really when God can just get to me.
Right.
And really say something to me that I might not hear when I'm too caught up on what social media is saying and what my boyfriend is saying and what my mama and them are saying.
Right.
Like when you remove all that, that's when you get to hone in. And then once you start to identify those spots, that's when that confidence can boost through because now you're saying, all right, what type of outfit do I like to put on that when I put it on, I feel like just a bad woman in the room. I feel confident, like Rihanna and Beyonce can't touch me. Like what makes you feel like that? And that is when that growth happens. And then it just starts to trickle down. Start being confident in one part of your life and you'll see it just trickle over into everything else.
Exactly. It's really being comfortable in your body. My body's not going to look like her body, but I got to make sure that what I'm wearing complements every ounce of my curves. We really got to be that deep. I'm like, God, is this something I want to wear? I like a good business suit. I love a nice dress. You know what I'm saying? I love accessories. I teased them a few weeks ago. I've gone and gotten a dress out of Walmart Bay and threw some jewelry with it and it was popping. And people like, girl, where you get that? Girl, where you get that? I'm like, if I tell you, it's gonna shock you. But my jewelry was like, damn.
That's how it is. But like Sarah, she said, confidence is the first and best accessory.
Yes, it is.
It's the first and best. Because if you could look fly, you could look good, you could walk in that room and go bam. But if you don't feel the bam in yourself, what you there for?
Then what you
Why are you there?
Insecurities though. You can spot an insecure person a mile away. I don't care how fly they look. There's something in their eyes, and for us who love the Lord and the Holy Spirit dwells, you can pick it up spiritually. I don't care how fly they look, and you can be like, but did you sense it? Did you feel it? She's not there.
But you want to walk in that room with the confidence of knowing who you are. You're strong. We're all powerful Black women. And you got to know that within yourself. And I think that's the great thing about you. To me, I think that's what you are. You're setting the stage already.
Right.
You're setting it. You're getting everybody ready. But at the same time, as I'm watching you, I was on Google yesterday looking up something, and you came up my feed. You were doing a demonstration.
That's when you know you bad, girl, when they coming up.
I was like, how confident could I be? Just sitting there and demonstrating people's products. But my question, let me ask you this one last question. Do you take anybody? The bag can be big. The money can be great. But if it does not align with who you are, your mission, your purpose, your business, do you still partake in it?
No, I can't. I can't. First of all, I can't sleep well at night knowing that I know I could have monetized my brand a lot sooner than what I did, and I could be a lot further along. I could have more Instagram followers. I could have more blog followers. I could have bigger brand campaigns.
Yep.
Right.
If I had sacrificed different parts of myself and my brand a long time ago.
Wow.
But like we talked about, that not every transaction has to have a monetary value. Not all money is good money.
No.
That's right.
And I know that it is really hard to say that and to stick to it when you live in paycheck to paycheck, or when you got your first 4-figure deal and you like, oh, I'm making money now.
Yes.
But that one moment that you make that decision could cost you the entirety of the future of whatever seed it was that you were trying to sow.
Right.
And I'm not in the business of letting my flesh and instant gratification kill the baby that God is trying to birth over a long period of time.
Say that, girl.
Hey, girl.
Near you, I can get you in my Bible, girl.
Y'all want to let you say it again. Do not let something abort your baby.
No.
Okay?
Not at all.
We will cause our own babies to be aborted. And people that don't know what we're talking about, because sometimes that don't resonate. Anytime you are trying to birth something, bring a business up. You're trying to nurture it, grow it. And sometimes we can allow things to come in to cause our business not to be successful or to fail.
Yeah.
And that is the abort. And we don't want that to happen. We want that baby to be born, to grow, to prosper, and be everything. And that is amazing that you said that, because we getting caught up in the money. And sometimes, like you said, you could have been monetized long time ago. Yeah. But your morals and values was much more higher than that. And I can't.
You are way ahead of your time, period.
You are.
I wish I had you when I was your age. To be honest with you, that's
the opportunity to follow, to look at other people's stumbling blocks. It's like saying we got our kids. We don't want them to fall in the same pitfalls that we fell in. We don't want them to have to struggle. It's like you, Jermaine, you could actually mentor somebody and say, hey, I want to guide you. You want to be a blogger. You want to be an influencer. Let me help you not fall where I fail. And sometimes we still have to fall now. We still got to get them bruises because we don't want to listen.
Right.
But at the same time, I just feel like you're amazing. Girl, you keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Girl, look. Y'all need to be connected.
It's spiritual. I feel it. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I wish I had you back then. And it has nothing about perfection. It's that I see your heart, and that's what it is.
Yes.
I wish I had that, and I know what it probably took for you to get to where you are. Roadblocks. That's why I tell people I don't wish for nobody life, because I can only imagine what it took to get there. But the spirit that you have is so freaking phenomenal, chick. I'm like, okay, I needed her way back then, but you know, God is on time. So
he always. And I tell people this all the time. I am whole before man because I know what it is like to be broken before the Father. I've had so much brokenness and so many broken pieces put back time after time after time.
Over and over.
So as you all said, it is okay to fail, and it is okay. But guess what? God can take them broken pieces, and He always puts it back together. And it is because of that brokenness that I can stand where I am today, and not just empathize with the next person who's trying to do it, but at the end of the day, minister to people in the same way I do it. So I mean, as I see y'all's light, y'all see mine, and that's what it's about. That's what business is about. So never think that you have to compromise on your goals or your morals or anything like that for your business to prosper. When you actually just give it to God and then you protect the vision that He planted for you, everything else just works out.
It's really a wisdom walk. I just finished the 21-day fast, and in my 21 days of prayer and fasting, I didn't ask for anything grand. I asked for wisdom, because I said everything that I need to do in my life, personally, professionally, I am going to need your wisdom. Don't let me make a move without you, God. Don't let me make a connection without you, God. If it's not for me, I need you to let me know. I need to hear you. And that was my prayer for 21 days. And you don't know. I'm like, oh, God. And he speaks to you. That's why people are like, God ain't speaking to me. Yes, he is.
Yes, he do.
Listening. Listening.
Yes, he do.
You're not listening.
Yeah, you ain't listening yet.
Listening. Right. And you don't want him to come. Hello.
You better not
knock on that door. I'm like,
God,
God,
be obedient.
But it's like what we said. You don't even know. You don't even know what God's voice sounds like because you refuse to stay by yourself.
Come on.
If you always surround yourself with all the other noise, how do you ever teach your ears to hear God?
Right.
Come on.
Right.
You know, and that's just what I've had to learn. How God speaks to me is different than how he speaks to my mom. It's different than how he speaks to my grandmother. But I have to learn how to first hear him.
Yes.
People don't want to take that time to hear him because he's talking to you.
Always.
And he's answering it. But also, I think a lot of people are afraid to ask because they're afraid of the answer. So you went into that.
That used to be me. Oh, Lord.
She preaching tonight. She trying to preach.
You down the church, girl. You better stop. I'm over here like you better stop.
Look, where's my paper and pen at? Look.
You start, but seriously, people asking leading questions and say, God, answer it, but like only if like this. Like, no, you better be prepared. Yeah, you gotta be prepared because I started asking God the same thing. I said, God, start showing me start fastening and strengthening my discernment so that I really know who is for my business. Child, my closest friends started dropping like flies. Don't you know it? It just you gotta be prepared for the answer. But again, you have to just teach yourself to stay in that stillness because you got to learn how to hear your voice.
Exactly. And then we have to realize that he's not going to do it the way that we think he will. If you say, Lord, help me with difficult people, he gonna put you with somebody difficult and see how you work that thing out. You know what I mean?
I want to push you to your next level. I want to make you so uncomfortable. I want to stretch you like never before. I mean, I want to make you feel like, okay, God. Okay, look, look. Don't do it. But when you got something to release, you better release that thing. You better release it and be obedient. That's the biggest thing I want people to always understand is being obedient. I don't want to suffer for nothing because there's something greater on the other side for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most powerful thing. My takeaway has always been is be obedient.
Yes.
Do as I ask.
Yeah.
And trust. You gotta trust that it's gonna come out great.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that is amazing. Woman, I'm done. It's a wrap. Girl, she ain't got to say no. She done preached the sermon. We good. I can go to bed. Look at Leslie. Look, I can go to bed and I can sleep good tonight. Look.
I'm like, but isn't that just how God is? You know, we think we come on to have this nice little, interview with you. And who knew that we would get the blessings and the nuggets? When I say God shows up everywhere, he shows up everywhere.
Where? Do you hear me?
Who knew we were gonna get this? I'm trying to find out about the yellow dress in the background. The Lord said, "Look, I need you to be
look. When he got something to give, man. When I say he got a word, sometimes you just gotta release that.
But we were open to it, and he gave it to us tonight, girl.
Yes.
Amen.
I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing. You are doing some amazing things, girl. I'm still following. I'm gonna keep following. You everywhere. Looking fly as ever. I gotta pick up on some hints, some styles from you.
That promo picture, like she looking good.
She looking good.
You want to change my hair color now?
I mean, you have two blondes right now. We can confirm.
Look, hey girls, look. I got to do it. I'm sorry. It's about time. Look, it's time to touch it up too. It's time. Look, we got to keep it real.
It's time.
But I mean, look.
Yeah, that one's
look at it.
It's time.
I know. But look, but Jermaine, let everybody know how can they, connect with you? How can they follow you? Where you at? Look, she done already look. There it is right there. Look,
I love
The Blonde Misfit.
Yes, check us out on our website. It's theblondemisfit.com. I'm also on Instagram and on Twitter a lot. And that is also The Blonde Misfit. We're also on YouTube. I'm not posting as much on YouTube, but we will be getting content out. So just type in The Blonde Misfit and I should pop up. And also you connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm Jamae Jackson. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm doing something very cool with LinkedIn very soon. So if you are a Black and brown entrepreneur, definitely meet me over there. It's going to be a great time.
Look at that.
Girl, I'm going to be stalking you.
Look, she say stalking you. Look, that's how we do. We gotta connect with each other. That's why I tell people every time you're on a platform, every time you're connecting with somebody, you're getting to know who they are, their purpose, their vision. Because you want to align yourself. Y'all, please get this. Align yourself with individuals who represent who you are. It ain't about the money. Align yourself with individuals. When we bring people to this platform, it is individuals that align with our vision, with our purpose. And we want to get the word out so you can connect with them and get to know what they're doing out there. Because they're doing some big things. Exactly. And so, look at Jamae. She's doing some great things. But, Jamae, I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Look at this. She done pulled out the phone. I'm done. Look, I'm done.
I told you I'm stalking the poor woman now.
Oh, my God. She done already did it. You follow her everywhere because I am. Look.
I got you.
That's what you gotta do, y'all. Because if you're connecting with somebody, you need to know who they are. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't just call people on here that say, "Oh, I want to interview." No, I'm getting to know them. I've been following them, getting to know what they're doing, what they're talking about. I mean, her blog is amazing, y'all. Please go to her website, girl. You are doing it. That thing is amazing.
Thank you.
Information, y'all. She's talking about everything. Get to know what she's doing on her page. Y'all, this is what we're about. This is what we're trying to do. But I thank you so much for being with us this evening. It was great having you. Yes. And girl, we're going to connect again. I'm going to definitely connect with you again.
I am. And Leslie,
definitely.
DMs, Leslie, I'll tell you where the dress is from. I'm going to
look
out.
I only said it like 5 times, sis.
Now you going to try to call her out like that. Really? You gonna call her out like I ain't said but 5 times.
The Lord said, be
no, you didn't.
I'm only
Don't put Lord in it. Don't put the Lord in the dress. Don't put the Lord in the dress. The Lord didn't tell you to do that. Don't be putting the Lord in it. Don't do it.
I'm just trying to be a blessing. I'm just trying
to be a blessing. Don't pay her no mind. Don't pay her no attention. Just ignore her. And like she ain't there.
Don't make me hit your inbox up and say, girl, you know we talked about it. I got proof.
Come on.
But it was good talking to you tonight. I appreciate you so much. You have a fabulous weekend, girl.
You ladies as well. Thank you all so much again with me, for supporting me from afar and now near and dear. It's this misfit gang. We all part of it together. Welcome to the tribe. I love it.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you. Bye, girl. Y'all, you know what? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, her energy is